Yo guys, Crescent here. Welcome to my Stamina Nightblade build video. This build is called Little Nasty because when I use this build, I just feel a little nasty inside my... just feel a little nasty because it's a high pressure build. It's not your typical ganking build or your typical high damage bone pirate, high resource gain, you can dodge throw for days, cloak a lot, high damage, that kind of build. It's a sustained pressure build. The skill cap of this build is higher than other skills because you need to know how to animation cancel. You need to know when to go in, when to use your ultimate, when to use your defensive and offensive ultimate. So it's the skill cap is basically higher for this build, okay? And yeah, let's hop straight into the build. I'll show you the sets. We'll be using the Troll-King Monster Helm. Yeah, I need to mention beforehand that I have wrong traits on my body pieces because I'm doing a stamina decay build and I need to save my transmutation stones for that build because I have very few impen pieces for that build. That's why I'm saving it for that build. That's why I kind of have to sacrifice a bit for this build. But what you want to run for the traits are 7 pieces impen on the body for CP campaign, and you can run 1 or 2 well fitted for non-CP campaign, and other pieces you want to run impen for non-CP campaign. So that is the trait for the armor pieces. Okay, now I'll show you the Monster Helm Troll-King. 2 heavy on Troll-King on the head and shoulders, both impenetrable if possible. You could use tri-stat enchantment on the body. I have stamina, doesn't really matter that much, and a maximum stamina glyph on the small pieces shoulder. And the second set we'll be using is our Blood Drinker set. Blood Drinker set is a really good set because it increases our bleed damage and it gives us a lot of crit as well. So as you know, bleed from skills and from your axes can crit. That's why having high crit for this build is really nice. That's why actually being a Khajiit for this build is really sweet. So what we obtain from this set is 2 weapon crit and 1 weapon damage, which is decent, and increases our bleed damage by 20%. I will show you why this set is actually a little bit underrated and it's actually quite a niche set for bleed builds. So I will show you the tooltip of sets without the 5-piece bonus, okay? Now you can see if I fully buffed up myself, I use rending, my tooltip is about 18k or so, which is decent, not bad, 18k. And I can show you the bleed damage is 9.5k, which is decent as well, which is not bad as well in my opinion. 9.5k over 6 seconds. So that is what we will get for this. Sorry, actually it's more than 9k, I forgot my foot. So I'll show you again, sorry. That's why I was wondering why is it a little bit low. Okay, it's 19k for Blood Craze, and for bleed it's about for bleed is about 10k for 6 seconds. Yeah, that is the tooltip I will obtain. That is without Blood Drinker. And one more skill we have to use is our Crave is about 7k without, more or less 7k I guess, without Blood Drinker. So if I use a Blood Drinker set now, you can see the difference. It's not a lot, but it's actually quite significant. Got too many item sets, I need to search it. Okay, so now with Blood Drinker, our Blood Craze is 22k. You can see now, 22k, 21.8, it's about 22k. So it's a 3k increased damage for Blood Craze, and I need to always buff up because I have the weapon glyph on my Dovil. So you can see it's about 8k for Crave, which is a 2k boost, 1 point something k, about 1 or 2k boost for Crave, which is quite nice. And I can show you our bleed is 11.6k, about 12k now, so it's another 2k increase. So you can see there's a minimum 2k increase for all our bleed abilities and our bleed passive. It's even a 3k increase for Blood Craze, which is insane. That's why it increases so much of our bleed. It's actually quite sweet to have this set. And you need to remember as well, I mentioned earlier, it ignores physical resistance and it can crit. That's why this set is actually quite underrated, and it's such a niche set. I really like this set. So we are running this Blood Drinker set on our body pieces, body, waist, hands, legs and feet. Everything you want to be impenetrable if possible. Tri-stat enchantment on the body and on the legs. on the body and on our legs, yes, correct. And our feet, belt, and hands, we want to use a maximum stamina glyph. So that is all the 7 armor pieces. And on the back bar, we'll be using Wiper, jewelry 3 piece, and 1 Battle Axe Wiper, 2-hand Battle Axe Wiper with double dot poison. The traits will be Sharpen trait on the axe. You can use none, but I feel like Sharpen is better. Even though we are a bleed build, but I still think we need a bit of Sharpen, because in principle you can't just use bleed to kill your enemy. You still need to use some skills like surprise attack, incap, and your relentless focus, your spectral bow to kill your enemy. So you still need a bit of penetration. And as for the jewelry, you'll be using 2 robust trait and 1 infused trait. For the infused trait, I'm using cost reduction infuse, and robust trait, I'm using 1 stamina recovery and 1 magicka recovery. You can drop this infuse. It's not a game breaker at all. You can use Trinune, or you can use just like robust, it's fine. I have infused because this is a gold jewelry, and infuse has 60% effectiveness instead of 50 from purple jewelry. That's why infuse is actually quite good for golden jewelry. And on our front bar, our main damaging bar, we'll be using the most OP Master Axes. Our main hand, we'll be using a Nirnhorn with disease damage. Our back bar, we'll be using infuse with our weapon damage enchantment. The main reason why I changed it to infuse is because rending is 2 instances of damage, so it will apply your disease proc and your weapon damage enchantment proc by just using this skill alone. That's why it's really nice. Okay, yeah, I need to mention why we are using poison on the back bar. It's mainly because of this crave skill. So with this crave skill, I think most of you should know by now already. To apply a poison on your enemy, you need to do either light attacks, heavy attacks, or weapon ability. So crave is a weapon ability, so it can proc poison like now. You see, poison procced. So with this skill alone, light attack and this skill alone, we can apply 2 dots of poisons on enemy. Bleed, we can apply Wiper, and we can apply the dot from the skill alone, from crave alone. So, and even poison status effect. So alone from this skill, light attack and this skill alone, you can proc like 6 dots on your enemy, which is so sweet. And the best part is you gain minor heroism. With this and using potions as a Nightblade, you gain so much ultimate, you can use so much in cap, you can apply so much pressure on your enemy. That's why I really like this skill. For bleed builds only. For other builds, don't use cleave. This is a garbage skill. I just think the tooltip is way too low, but we buffed it up so much, it's actually quite nice now. Okay, so those are for the sets. There are 2 more honorable mention sets, bleed sets, that you could consider using. The first one is Savage set. I use it on my non-CP DK bow build. It's quite nice, but it's not good in CP campaign. The damage is way too low for CP campaign. So if you're playing in non-CP or in battlegrounds, you could consider using this set instead of Wiper on your back bar, because it's really easy to proc. The stats are really good. Give you stamina, weapon damage, stamina recovery. Just really overall sweet stats. And you gain 1.4k physical damage over 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. There's no cooldown. The moment you do light attack, you can apply this. You can reapply it again and again. So that's why this set is actually quite nice in non-CP campaign. But in CP campaign, don't use it. It's way too low the damage. So this is the first set you could consider. I wouldn't use it, but you could consider using it. And another set is Pillar of Nirn. This is one of the only few bleed sets you can use. I don't like this set because it applies a ground proc, so to say. It will proc after 1 second and will do quite a sweet dot on your enemy. Is 11k. It would go even higher, I think about 13k or so with our sets, with our Blood Trinket set. But it has a 10-second cooldowns, and it's so easily dodgeable. When people are moving a lot, you put a ground buff and it only proc after 1 second, people will just walk away from it, you know. So I just feel like this set is not a good set for Stamina Nightblade. If you're using a DK that has a lot of snares and a lot of roots or something like that, then this set could be really powerful as a bleed build for DK or some other classes, but just not Nightblade, just not Stamina Nightblade. I don't think this set is that good. If you have this set, you could try it out, or you could even use something like a poison, root poison or snare poison. Then this set could be actually quite good. But for me, I'm lazy to farm this set, so I'm just using Wiper. And actually the main reason why I'm using Wiper is because I have the gold jewelry, so it's just so sweet. I just use it. Everything is just gold. Feel so rich, man. Okay, so those are the sets. I will show you the tooltip and the stat sheet now. I showed you the tooltip ready for the rending. Rending is about 22k, like I mentioned earlier, and our surprise attack should be around 9.5k. Yep, in cap should be around 15k. That is the tooltip for this build. What else? I need to show you the stat sheet. Let me just use a potion. Buff this, use this, and then use this. So weapon damage is 32k, 33k or so. 33k, sorry. 3.3k. 3.3k weapon damage. Crit is about 58%. Physical resistance after I use a skill, like when I get my major buff, it will be about 18k. It's a bit low, to be honest, but we have Troll King to help us with the healing. We have Shade to dodge some damage, Cloak to dodge skills as well, and Roll Dodge obviously, so those will help with our low resistance. Maximum stamina is 30k, which is decent. Health is about 23k, 22k in Cyrodiil, 23k I think. Maximum Magicka is 11k, and overall the Magicka recovery let me just use 900, 1k health recovery. With Troll King is about 3.6k health recovery after Troll King procced, and stamina is about 2.3k, which is decent. The penetration is a bit low, it's about only 1.6k. With our major debuff is about only 7k. But hey, we are using so much bleed, we need high crit, which is really important for that, and high weapon damage, which is really important. So yeah, crit resistance is really low because I have 2 sturdy pieces and 2 well fitted, which is really terrible for CP campaign. Usually you should have about 2.6k crit resistance with all impenetrable. Okay, the Mundus stone we'll be using is the Serpent Mundus stone. I'm using the Atrium Takeaway Broth, which is the best food you can have for this build. Optional food you can use drinks, Dubious Cameron Throne, which is decent as well. You just lose a bit of health recovery, and that's about it, because this will give you health recovery. Potions, I'm using only Tri-Stat Potion for this build. You could use something like Lingering and Speed Potion for a non-CP campaign, but mainly I'll be just using Health Potion. And the poisons, I'm just using Double Dot Poisons only on the back bar. So that's it for the potions and poison. Now to the skills. Yeah, this is the important part. I'll show you what I'm using on the skills, and then I'll tell you how you want to work with your skills. The skills, I'm having Relentless Focus. I don't have Execute on this for this build, so I'm using Relentless Focus, Surprise Attack, Ambush, Massisteria, Blood Craze, in cap your ultimate, or you can use Dawnbreaker when you're playing in a group. Forward Momentum to deroot you, Crave or Cleave for your bleed damage, your Shadow Image, your Resolving Vigor, your Cloak, and your Healing Ultimate Soul Siphon. So the only optional skill I would change is Gap Close. If you don't like running a Gap Close, you could use a lot of different skills. You could use Double Take to get Major Evasion and Major Expedition, so you are a bit quicker, and you take a lot less damage from Templars or Dawnbreakers or Meteors, which is really nice. You could use Execute if you want. Killer's Blade, really optional. You could even use Piercing Mark, because Piercing Mark can just reveal Nightblades, which is sometimes really good. Or Leeching Strikes is a good skill as well. Or in general, if you're playing in a group, you want more AoE damage, you could use Power Extraction, or you could use the good old Steel Tornado, Spin to Win. Steel Tornado has lower damage, but it's 9 meters, and what do you call that? Power Extraction has higher damage, but it's only 8 meters, so it's really up to you. Yeah, so the back bar skills you can't change at all. I feel like all these skills are way too important, even Shadow Image, even though it's a bit buggy now, this patch. But I still think you need this because you need some mobility somehow, because we don't have Major Expedition for this build. That's why I feel like Shadow Image is so important. Okay, now how you want to rotate your skills, I will show you how you want to rotate your skills, how you want to engage your enemy. how you want to be defensive while you're under pressure, and when you want to use your ultimate, which is really important as well. So these 4 things. Now the first thing is you want to always have these 2 buffs up. First one is your forward momentum, you gain major brutality, and your relentless focus, you gain your minor berserk. So always want to have these 2 up. Preferably every time you want to put your shit down before engaging an enemy, even though if it's a bad player or a good player, you want to have your shit down. And then engagement, really simple. Always you want to cloak into them. If you have the magicka, if your magicka is really low, then you can just straight go into them. If not, usually you want to go into cloak first so they don't see you coming. Ambush in, light attack, rending. This is your first method to engage. Your second method to engage is pretty straightforward as well. You go into cloak, go into your dual wheel bar, heavy attack into rending slash. So these are your 2 methods to engage. After you engage them, what you want to do is, I'll show you again. Light attack into rending, you switch to your back bar, light attack. Sorry, I totally used the wrong skill. So you ambush, light attack, rending, back bar, light attack, cleave, and then switch to your front bar, straight, and then you can go back into surprise attack, in cap, and then you can shoot your spectral bow. So that is what I would do. Let me just kill this skeleton really quickly. Why you want to go to your back bar is because you want to use this skill. You want to use this crave skill, your cleave skill. You want to apply all the dots. You want to apply your poison dots, you want to apply your wiper, you want to apply the crave bleed, and you want to apply your bleed from access, and you want to apply the bleed from crave. So you apply all these dots on your enemy. That's why you always want to go into your front bar. You always want to use your biggest dot first, which is your blood craze, your 22 tooltip dot, which is insane. You want to always apply blood craze first. Then only you go to your back bar, you apply your crave, you go back to your front bar. If you have your in cap, you use it. If you don't have it, you can surprise attack a bit, fear them, play around with them, shoot your spectral bow when it's ready, and then or in cap when it's ready. So the important thing is yeah, I need to show you the animation cancel first. So you want to go inside relentless, light attack, animation cancel. You see, I actually applied the crave, but I animation cancel it so sweetly, it doesn't even show that I used the crave skill. I show you again. Light attack, crave into animation cancel. It doesn't even show the crave skill. You see, it doesn't even show, but actually we applied the skill on the enemy. You can see the status effect. There's wiper, there's crave, there's bleed. So those are the dots you can apply on your back bar. About ultimate, when you want to use your ultimate, you want to use your ultimate only when after you apply all your dots. So I will show you like your engagement. You apply your first dot, you apply your back bar dots, then you can use your ultimate. So you buff the damage of all your dots. I'll show you why. Because there's 6 seconds you increase the damage against that enemy by 20%. 6 seconds. You need to remember your bleed from blood craze is 9 seconds. Your crave skill is 10 seconds bleed. Your typical bleed from your weapons, I think, is 6 seconds if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 6 seconds. So after you use your ultimate, every time your dot will go through it, or the 6 seconds is used up, or the 20%, you know, the increased damage from your in cap will go through all your bleed damage. That's why it's so sweet. You apply so much pressure to your enemy. And obviously there are another few more dots, which is 6 seconds as well, I think. Okay, the first poison is only 4.5 seconds, the other poison is 6.4 seconds. So with that, it will still increase the damage of all these dots. That's why in cap is so powerful for this build. And another thing is, when you want to use your spectral bow, is always after a fear, after you CC your enemy, make sure they can't dodge it, or after in cap. I don't have in cap ready now, so let's say I just get my in cap ready. So I'm just rotating my skills, my in cap is ready, I can in cap him. So I have a 70 ultimate in cap, so it doesn't stun. I use my in cap, I fear, and then I spectral bow. But if I have a stun in cap, I use my in cap straight into spectral bow. I don't need to wait for it. That is how I use my in cap always. What else? I think, yeah, disengagement. If you're under pressure, let's say you're fighting enemy, and then suddenly there's a guy that start to gank you. What you want to do is always switch to your back bar, vigor dot throw, cloak. So if they break your cloak after you cloak, you preferably then want to go back to your shade immediately to avoid further damage. Let's say this is the basic method. You want to always just remember Vigor Dodge Roll Cloak. This is your basic get away from Zergs. Let's say if you don't have your shade up, what can you do? The first thing you want to do is like Vigor Dodge Roll and then cloak. They break your cloak, you can always go back to your front bar. You don't want to spam Vigor again because Vigor is 6 seconds. So you want to go back to your front bar, you can fear them away. Put down a shade and then go away. When they chase you, you go back to your shade. That is one of the methods I always use to get away from like 6, 7 people or even more sometimes. Really important. Make sure you know how to use this. And the emergency, let's say you are getting way too much pressure on you. You are like, you just can't outdo it. You're getting rooted. You're getting a lot of shit on you. Sorry for my language. You want to always Vigor Dodge Roll Cloak. They break your cloak, right? You use your ultimate. You have your 4 seconds of, I would say, invincibility. So people can't kill you. You put your shit, then you go away, and then you go back to your shit. If you have your shit up already ready, then you can just go back to it. It's even better. This ultimate is just so powerful because it gives you major vitality, increase your healing received by 30%, which is included Troll King, your vigor, and it gives you a crazy dot as well as like 26k over 4 seconds. And when you use it, you gain a 9k healing instantly. So it's just insane with all these crit heals as well. You won't die after you use this ultimate. Yeah, so that is the disengagement. I think I mentioned everything already. Now to the CP. Siphoner 90, 56 Warlord, 3 Sprinter, 64 Mooncalf, 11 Arcanist, 23 Befoul, 66 Tumbling, 28 Shadow 1, 37 Blast, 13 Shattering Blow, 6 Physical Weapon Expert, 72 Master at Arms, and really important, 20 into Thermal Church because we have a lot of dots, 56 into Precise Strikes because I have extremely high crit, and 70 Piercing, and 49 Mighty, 72 Ironclad, 32 Resistance, 31 Thick Skin, 49 Hardy, 49 Elemental Defender. I don't need too much into Thick Skin because I can cloak away a lot of the dot damage, and 37 into Quick Recovery. That is for the CP. I think I covered everything already. If you have any questions, just throw them in the comment below. I will put a Battlegrounds clip now. You can see how this build function in non-CP campaign. It worked just fine in non-CP and in CP campaign. You don't need to switch anything at all. It's just perfect for both of those campaigns. And the gameplay video will be out in a few days. It's gonna be super interesting. You can just see how the build function in Cyrodiil, which is actually really nice. I really like this build. Okay, that's it for me. See you guys in Cyrodiil, and make sure you like this video if you like what you see, and make sure to subscribe for more ESO videos. And I'll see you guys in Cyrodiil. Bye bye.